later this next week.
Okay. Good night. One sec. Good night. Don't get in this live cast.
Do you have background on?
That's a blur.
Ew, that's so weird.
Ew. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Uh-huh.
Is that Lily?
Yeah. They're trying to go to bed, or they're about to go to bed.
Nice to see you, Lily. I mean, we're calling her Lily.
Cool. Oh, I can share screen. Oh, can I share you my Power BI that I've been working on? I've been doing my my weekly updates.
Sure, let's go right into it.
I'll appreciate some critique here.
Now let's do a little intro here. We're talking about a Power BI for your business.
Yes, we're talking about Power BI. I'm talking about taking data from my somewhat lackluster suite of tools that my franchisee has made available. So I'm trying to augment some of the and improve some of the statistics that I want to see.
I see. It's not the Power BI to manage your family. You're still working on that.
Yeah, work in progress on that.
Sure. Shall I switch over?
All right. Can you see?
All right.
Did it work?
You can't see it?
Well, I'm looking at Power BI.
Oh, you only
have one screen. Yeah. Now I see it.
Pretty
Sorry,
cool.
I've only got one screen, so.
Me too. Oh, I'm not presenting. Now, the funny thing is, since mine is at a small window, I could barely see that window.
Oh, really?
Because I think the latest update on the Mac is blocking the AirPlay, so I can't even.
Oh, I've tried to minimize everything, minimize tabs. I'm trying to give you the best opportunity to see it.
So to start off, I guess I need to blur some names. So I'll figure out how to do that later.
Yeah, true. This is kind of like my not carrot, but my stick. This is a stick kind of report to go hit people over the head. So what
am I looking at here, Jim?
So the idea on this one is, our point of sales system is really good, obviously giving us sales and costs and gross margins. But the franchise uses a third-party program called 5 Stars for rewards. And so there's no true way to know who put in what rewards, who did they give rewards to at what time. So this is my report to try to estimate how good we are at giving out rewards, because obviously the more rewards we give out, the more possibility we have to bring customers back in the future. So
giving out rewards to your customers.
Yeah, sorry. And to be clear, when I say giving out rewards, I just mean points. So you spend $10 at our store, you get a point, or you sell $10, you get a point. And the more points you accrue, you unlock, $5 off, 20% off, free candy bar, stuff like that.
Ah, great. I'm not going to jump ahead, but man, it's pretty good. I already see obvious actions to take without even knowing what your KPIs are.
I was going to say things float to the top, things float to the bottom, right? But the one thing about this, so the critique that I'd love to take from you is, since it's not integrated with our point of sale system, basically what I have to do is I have to do a calculation.
5 Star is not.
Yeah, 5 Stars is not. Mm-hmm. So what I have to do for the sake of this report is I basically have to calculate, I'll point your attention over here, the calendar date. I'm calculating a 5 Stars percentage by day. And again, what that means is, if we had 100 purchases by customers, only 76 of the customers got any form of points, right? 64% the next. Okay. And so then what I have to do is cross that up against who was working on a given day. And so I don't, this doesn't really mean that Jim got 91%, but the average of the 11 days that Jim worked, we gave out 91% of the points.
11 is every shift is 1 day?
Yeah. Yeah. It could have said number of days, but I called it shifts. So yeah, so you can see there's clearly the people that work a lot. And so basically what you get to is this is more of a correlation, right? It's not 1-to-1, but at some point you can start to say, yeah, even on the days where this person might be with some people like myself or whoever else is at the top, right? Eventually, somehow they're working, the average of all the days they worked is below the target. The target's 75.
Okay.
So yeah, so I am using this to kind of track, how are we doing week on week? Obviously I'm looking at days of the week, or sometimes I think about it as weekday versus weekend, but yeah, that's what I just finished updating right before we got on the call. Thoughts?
I think this is
Questions?
fantastic. So the one question I would first have is just thinking about the percentage, just so we're aligned on what the number means. Or what the number would mean as an employee or someone that has a shift.
Yeah.
Should I assume everyone that has a shift spends the equal amount of time and opportunity to engage with the client to get a 5-star interaction? Or
No.
interaction that would warrant a 5-star?
Okay. Good question. So because of the way that kind of the ebb and the flow of people coming in as new employees, right? A new employee isn't even touching the register. Mm-hmm. So in their first 15 to 30 days, they might not even be going into the POS. They might not be talking to customers, et cetera. Then they're sort of like, from day 30 to day, I'll call it 90, you've been trained and now you are doing a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But at some point after, let's say day 90, you start to become a seasoned employee. Now you're moving into the part of the business where you're working on the buys, right? And so you're sorting more, you're punching in buys, as we call it, right? You're kind of calculating how much we're going to give to customers for their apparel. And so at some point, those really seasoned employees might not be, giving the customer that many points. They might not be involved in many transactions, right? Because they're doing more stuff away from the POS. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So yeah, it is. That does make it a little bit tricky. So yeah, you've got to have some HR awareness when you look at a screen like this, right?
So based on those 2 or 3 assumptions you gave me, how come the distribution on the first column doesn't seem to fit what I would expect? So how could there be some people with few shifts in the last 2-3 months?
Yeah.
But have such a much higher 5-star percentage? Could I assume fewer number of shifts means they're newer?
Or not necessarily? No, that just means the number of days that right? So, I mean, I'll just take this employee, right? They work every other Friday night. That's mm-hmm. it. Mm-hmm. And then they got sick or something. So yeah, so in a quarter period, yeah, they only had 3 active shifts. And so, I have some inside information on this one. Again, that's Fridays. Mm-hmm. So that tells you that on those 3 Fridays, the average was 76% across that, right? So, which correlates here. So I could click on, for example, a Friday, and now we can drill down to just Fridays, mm-hmm. right? And you can see it's a little bit different distribution. So I haven't gotten too much into, what about this day versus mm-hmm. that? I mean, the first big action I took, if I looked at the days of the week, right? I went and talked to the Thursday crew and was like, all right, y'all, is there something, right? You're looking at this data with me. You see there's a delta here, right? Is there something that happens on Thursdays? Do we have some regular customers who say, nope, don't bother with my points, right? Do we have a language issue with people that don't understand what points mean? And, some of our team might not be, some of our English speaking employees might not want to mess with Spanish speaking employees, right? And try to have such a conversation around points, mm-hmm. Things like that. And of course, nobody could come up with anything. A little bit of everything. And so it was. I will say, I mean, again, you would appreciate that. In the face of that, I think I had a chat with one of our more senior folks talking about the Thursday, and I thought it was funny. I clicked on the Thursday, showed him that data, and was like, so. One of the things in the back of my mind is, we're supposed to give points for sales and buys. And I said, I just always assume we struggle with the buys. And She says, well, so all I can tell you is me and the second most senior employee and the third most senior employee, we ask everybody. So it's, i.e. it's not us. And I clicked on the Thursday and I came over to this table and was like, you guys are the bottom 3 on this table. So again, that's the hard part, right? It's not necessarily causation, but somehow you're either the poor performers or you're around the poor performers. So if it's not you, I need you to bring those guys up, right? And I don't think that message landed of, I believe it's not you. I don't believe it's you, but I also believe you need to help bring the newer staff or the poorer performers up. I think she got stuck on, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me.
Ultimately, you want to see that number closer to 75.
Yeah.
You were trying to help the more senior person figure out what it could be.
Yeah, because I mean, it's
and instead of getting an answer on what it could be, you heard what it likely isn't, and then your data showed that maybe that's not so true. So give me let me go back to the beginning. And I felt like I was listening, but walk me through. So I walk in your store. I'm already registered with my cell phone number in 5-star.
Yeah.
So I'm going to purchase another stroller for my 4th child. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I walk up to the store, the cashier. Then what happens?
Yeah. So typically, right, the cashier is going to scan that item or however many other items you've got, and at some point after they believe they've scanned everything, either first or second, right? Either before they tell you the amount or as they're about to tell you the amount, they're trained to say something along the lines of, do you want to enter your phone number in on that tablet for some reward points? Or, are you part of our rewards program? They're supposed to prompt the customer about that.
If I'm a regular,
yeah,
I could have typed it in knowing that you'd ask me that.
Correct. And so that's a further complication of like, did people quote unquote do the job or not? Because the more experience we have, the older our store becomes and the more regulars that we talk to, right? They just know the drill. I'm here, type in my number. Oh, do I have any reward points? How many points do I have? Did I get any coupons? Right. So
now I'm getting it. It's not like you go to Whole Foods, you type in your phone number, scan your barcode, and the cashier knows you're a Prime member. Here, you don't even know. Even if you prompt them, they could type it in. They could type in the wrong phone number, but you don't see as a sales associate if the person registered. You have to poke your head over to look, right?
I happen to be here, so yeah. So when you can you see the 5 stars here?
I sure can.
Man, this was good, appropriate timing. This would have never worked if I wasn't on my work computer. So what'll happen is if the customer types their number in, the computer goes ding, and instead of this sort of generic splash screen, you'll see you would see more. There would be an icon that represented you, and it would say Seymour, or it would say the last 4 digits of your phone number. So I, as the cashier, say, "Oh, is that you, Seymour?" Right? Or because most people don't have their picture uploaded on this, or they might not even have their name.
So again, it doesn't show on the POS, but if you look over, you can see it. That's what the sales agent does?
So the way I did that, so literally if this screen had the POS software running, like I mentioned, if the customer entered their phone number and you heard a ding, this would turn from a star to a 1. And that gives a visual indication of, oh, hey, cashier, go click on it. Okay, you'll click on it, and then you'll see, the shopper, or you might see a couple of shoppers, right? If there's a line forming.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still working on that macro. You're still working on that macro.
Which one?
I don't know what.
Whichever one. Yeah.
Have you seen those stream decks, like those macro USB macro buttons?
Oh.
Like.
Yeah, I've seen some guys that are selling, some cool keyboards or something that, you can program. Yeah, like you press a button and it does, whatever sequence.
Yeah. I was just thinking that might be something to think about.
Yeah. So here's kind of
something at the end.
So there's that screen, right?
Yeah, so that's you as a customer.
So of course you would know me, that I've clearly given it my birthday, my name, my picture, to try to make it easier on, whatever.
Training.
But right. But a lot of times you'll see no picture. You'll see just a phone number. Right. But you'll typically see some points over here.
I
Right. So
see.
this is the screen where they give points to the customer.
Got it. So when do so I checked that, I typed in my phone number, you greeted me, and then what happened? And then you hear the ding, you push the one, you see me. So I got the Stokey stroller, $300. Then what?
Yep. So the way you just saw me give myself 1 point, right? That's where I'd pull you up. I'd say, first off, we sort of do obviously like what points do you have for this transaction? Anything you earn on this, right, would be for next time, right? But we're trying to train the team to look at that and go, oh, you have, pick a number. Oh, you have 20 points. Did you know you are eligible for a free candy bar or $5 off?
Gotcha.
Right? They're different, so then that's supposed to be the prompt. And then if the customer says, oh yeah, sure, I'll take $5 off, then we, deduct it from the total.
Okay. So before you add points to my account, does the sales associate now get 1 point towards this percentage?
So only once they have assigned a point.
Okay. So the $300 stroller gets how many points?
So it's 1 point for every $10. So that would be 30 points.
And how do they calculate that?
We rely on them to do mental math.
And then as a customer, do I get to see if I got the right points added?
No.
Okay. So in this case, you would have asked me, I had 0 points, but you go, would you like that? Oh, so I have 0 points. I'm not using it. But then you add 30 before I pay or after I pay?
So yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago. So I would be adding the 30 points right sort of in parallel to you paying. But it allows us, since it's not immediately tied in, like for example, here's how the discussion might go. Okay. Thanks for entering your number. Today you're going to get 30 points, Seymour. Next time when you shop, that'll be good for a $10 off coupon, right? So it doesn't affect your current $300 stroller, right? But the next time you will have earned those 30 points today, so you get those.
Okay.
You get to use the rewards next time.
Got it. So today you add the 30 points, close a transaction, and then for that shift you get 1 customer transaction and 1 5-star because you added points. So that's 100%.
Exactly. So that would, so every 1 customer, so every 1 sales transaction, if you get the 1 5 stars, then you get the 100% for that. So so really a customer it's a 1 or a 0, right? There's no, the only thing that we have to do from a data perspective is, since our business relies on customers selling us inventory, right? And so sometimes they just sell it to us. That's a quote unquote single transaction. But sometimes, we tell them, oh, we're willing to pay you $20, but are you going to be shopping today? Then let's say they go get, they purchase a few t-shirts and whatever, right? Now they're trading that money. So simultaneously, that's a purchase and a sell. So I do have to sort in this data analysis, I do have to kind of make sure I don't double count the number of transactions.
So would that be 2 transactions?
So what you would see is, do I have a way to?
Hey, don't put too much stuff that I have to blur.
So whatever. I mean, it's just no. It's fine. I can't really. I'll just leave it on the screen for if we want to get into some of the funnier stuff there. But no. So what you would see from the POS data is, let's say you came and sold me your old stroller, right? Your twin stroller, because now you just need a single for your little one. Right. So the POS would say, okay, Seymour, we had 1 sales transaction, we had 1 buy transaction, we had 1 trade transaction.
Okay.
Sorry. No, in your case, it would be 1 sale and 1 trade. And I need to think about that. The employee didn't have the opportunity. We don't put in points twice. They're only going to put in points once.
Okay.
So I just need to net out Yeah, the trade
Okay.
effectively.
I think I went in too much detail, so I'll zoom out again. What if you were at 75% every day, you'd be happy?
I don't. To me, that's the intermediate step. When we just realized we could measure this going back, starting in February, and so the first challenge we gave the team was to just establish a baseline at 65. We got there pretty quickly. Then we went to 70. We're in the third month now of trying to hit 75, and the last 2 months when we missed it, we were at 74, 73.6. So they're close, but yeah, I need to get them. I think once we get them to break through that, then I think honestly, my estimation is that 80 to 85 would be a reasonable goal.
Jim, why I appreciate you training us to do this and building in these processes, but our sales aren't going. We're at 82%, and our sales haven't been going up. Why are you asking us to do this? Or is that correlation wrong?
That's not. I mean, I guess the one benefit is we can say that sales have been going up. But the message I say to them is that, the point of this kind of marketing program is not to bring in the sales today or this week or last week. This is to bring in the sales next month, next quarter, 6 months from now, right? We're always trying to fill the pipeline of future growth.
Now, you don't have to have this data right available, but I'm sure you're thinking about it. Do you have the number of return customers or sales of 5-star versus non-5-star?
Yeah,
or the average sales volume for a 5-star versus non-5-star.
Again, I would love to. The difficulty though becomes in that I don't feel like I have representative data because we're still only 75%. And because these aren't truly linked into the POS, it becomes hard. The other thing that you might ask is, but Jim, you told me that it's $10 for every point. So, this person must have spent, approximately $80. Yes, but sometimes we have promotions like double points, buy two, get one free. It's your first time signing up. We'll give you 5 or 10 bonus points. And that sort of changes over time. So there's not a nice, easy way to sort of back that out either.
So I guess the number of points is not so important to you, but maybe what is important? Yeah, the number of unique phone numbers and...
Correct. So I want to continue to get this number of total visits, this number of total members up. And I guess the thing that I keep looking at is, so this is the best place for now that I look at it. These bar graphs give you new signups versus returning. And when I just sort of eyeball or estimate, we're still at the point of our store's path where we're like 25 to 33% of customers on a given day are new signups to the reward program. Just clear. So yeah, I mean, if we were 5 years down the road and this was like 9 to 1, right? It could be a little bit less stringent with the team because you're just talking to regulars. They know the drill. They're going to keep coming back. But like, if we miss these customers, that's a third of customers that might not get a prompt, a text, a clearance notification, right? To come back and give us another try.
Got it.
So,
yeah. Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, you have certain amount of confidence that from your training, from what empirical experience you have, that if they sign up, they're likely to come back.
Yep.
But even if they don't come back, at least it gives you an opportunity to send them a tailored message that might entice them to come back.
Yeah, and it's I'll give you an example.
A promotion, yes.
Yeah, so here's an example, right? So this past weekend, we launched our 70% off clearance, and you can see I basically segmented the audience and gave one message to what are called VIP. That means they've got a certain number of points or a certain number of visits. Less than VIP, but still regulars. The most recent batch of customers that are considered new or prospect, that means they shop nearby, and then the last group is folks that shopped with us but then haven't been back in. I think it's 3 months, 90 days.
Cool. You know, I've never gotten a text message from any of the stores I visited. And I don't think Victoria has either, now that I think about it. I know in Richardson, I've definitely put in my number. Phoenix,
Really?
I think I must have when I did
Well,
apply.
I was going to ask you about that because I know a few months back after we did our first month of like, hey guys, we can measure this. We need to do better. And we just now, because I'll tell you, when we found out we were at that annual meeting and they basically through some discussions with other owners, I realized I could measure this. It was like eye-opening because I just assumed we were pretty good. I was like, oh yeah, okay, there might be a Spanish speaker or foreign language speaker here and there. Okay, maybe somebody's tired one day. I would have guessed the number was around the 70s. And yeah, the first time I looked at the data that I could measure, we were like 51 or 52. And so after we got that bump up to 65 or so in March, I sent out like a not group chat. I posted in our Facebook group of other owners, like, how are you guys measuring this? Do you have any tips and tricks? And like, nobody said anything. So I don't know. I don't know if other people assume that it's just 100%, if they don't think it's interesting, or if I'm mostly talking to seasoned owners who are, mostly have regulars. I don't know. I haven't found somebody else that wants to geek out on this data yet.
I'm sorry you couldn't find an equal yet. Sure.
But I think it's important, I think it's important. It's that whole like measuring the future, It's basically it's some sort of measurement for like potential what's the internet speak, not lifetime value, right? So yeah, I don't have good data here to tell me this yet, but yeah, I truly believe the lifetime value of a customer in this program is higher than one not in, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to think about our donut shop.
Well, I was going to say, but I mean, that's, it's funny you say that one. Is I think about some other businesses. That is the sad, that's what I like about, you'll pay a little bit more to be on, say, like a Square or a Toast or something like that. But when the reward program is integrated, I mean, you would just have canned reports here of like, show me all the people that, show me the 20% of customers that spend 80% of the sales, right? And show me how many times they've come, and show me, you could really find and show me only the ones that bought such and such apparel, right? I can't tell you if these are baby shoppers, are they, 10 years and up, are they shoe shoppers? That'd be great. But
yeah, I guess your struggle, you don't even find other owners to geek out with. That probably also means those other owners aren't pressing the franchise to work on integrating 5-star with the POS.
Yeah. I mean, just to give you an example. So the thing I just said, right? What are they buying, right? There's a canned report that we download from the franchise called, it's all about the items you've bought in. And it tells you, let's just say a t-shirt. Oh, you bought this on such and such date. You paid $1 for it. The recommended retail price is X. I won't give away our secret sauce there, but it's X. And then if you sold it, it'll tell you, oh, you sold it, whatever, 3 days later, 3 months later. And so I talked to one of our field ops managers and was like, hey, you're already pulling in whether it's sold or not. Can you just add the transaction number? Right? Because then I could say, for example, I sent out a text to 506 people, 29 people came to my store. How many of those people actually bought whatever, right? A book, a bodysuit, a whatever. But as a limitation of data, I can't actually tell you from it, I'd have to be sitting there looking at them. And she was, like, oh, that's a cute question. I'll go put that with IT.
And cute, like an ACUTE? Like precise?
I mean, she didn't say cute. She said something else that was equally.
That's like, how you felt with her.
It was something equally sort of like infantilizing. Like, oh, I mean, that would be really nice. Yeah, but let me go see. I don't even know if it's possible. And I joked with Carly later that I should have been like, you're already crossing it with the SQL table of the sales transaction data. I know it's there. You know, it's an easy joint, blah, blah, blah. You know, just try to look really smart. Let me talk to the IT guy. But of course I didn't.
Every time you put in a point, so in my transaction, if I put a point, afterwards, there is a unique ID for that time I earned 30 points. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, that's sort of the missing, there's no ability to sort of cross that data. So I can see.
I thought I saw a field under customer, like for notes.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So I was just let me finish this thought real quick here is, so there's one of two nice data points, one of two nice data ties, if you want to call it that. So 5 stars gives me, oh, Jim earned a point at 9:24. But if you say, show me the sales data for the day from the point of sale system, it doesn't give you any timestamp. So I can't even try to estimate, like, you know, oh, Jim probably shopped in the 9 o'clock hour. Show me the sales from 9 o'clock, and oh, there's something close to 1. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tie that. If that was where you're going. And then the other thing you said, yeah, you can. There's notes here.
Yeah. I just thought after the transaction complete, one way could you put the transaction from the POS here, or vice versa, put this phone number or something else.
You could, and you could see. What was I going to see?
And then later do a scrape.
What some owners do, and I have talked to them, some people use this more as like a categorization of customer. I don't know that many do this for transactional, but like some people might put in here veteran. And then then later, if you click all members, you could search by veteran and say, okay, let's send out, a customized message on,
I see,
Memorial Day, right? Or something like that. But Carly and I have talked about that, but we just haven't taken that next step because we think she or I doing it, maybe our assistant manager could keep that in mind, but we think it's a lot to ask the team when we're not getting full 5-star support at this point even, right? So
yeah. So worst case, you could have your Google sheet. I leave, you type in my phone number in column 1, then you put in the receipt number in column 2 from the POS. Like
yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you could say, and that's the valid point. That data I think that data is made available as part of the data export, right? I can look at notes, I think.
Just thinking about all the manual stuff you made me, I decided to do in our previous job, and then building the Google Forms. The Google form would actually be pretty easy. Phone number, copy paste, phone number, receipt, copy paste.
Yeah, it is hard. I've thought a couple times, the trick, I have yet to find, and I'll say I've looked only a couple times. I have yet to find a program like this that does a good job of, tracking people and points. Yeah, that's an easy Google form, Jot form, blah, whatever, right? The trick though is using this to send out text messages, and I'll show you the thing we didn't talk about. This is where I don't know how to code or no code this. The power of this to me is what they call the autopilot. So this is where it's like, oh, you earned points after your first visit. This just automatically, right in the background, I don't touch it. It just sends out a text. Here's a coupon. Oh, after your third visit, you get another thing. You haven't been in 30 days. Here's an automatic coupon. So these are just going out, and I don't have to touch it, right? So that's the part I have no clue how to build a tool for. Or the tool that I could build would be so labor intensive.
So it's pretty good. Out of how many total did you have in here? Let's say how many registered numbers?
What was it? 15,000?
Yeah, out of 15,000, 2,000 people put in their birthdays. pretty good.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, some number close to that. Yeah, it could be. There could be some people that have already been delivered, like because we've been open for almost 2 years, right? It could have come around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. That's
Oh,
been a
that's
funny
fun.
one. I've realized. So when somebody comes up, let me show you that example. So like I told you, a lot of times it'll just be a phone number, and so I take the approach of like I try to take the approach of like let's just put in one piece of data, because if I click here, it could be a name, it could be an email, it could be a birthday, it could be are you such so most of my time is spent like, hey, let me just get your first name. And a couple times when I've had a first name, I'd say somewhat early on, I was like, oh, what's your birthday? And I got kind of a quizzical like, do I want to tell you this birth? And because I think people, when you say what's your birthday, they just assume that they have to give you the year. And so then I got to where I was like, hey, you want to get a coupon on your birthday? I don't need the year, which felt like already like a little bit combative. And then I've tried a couple times, hey, do you want to get a coupon on your kid's birthday? You want to tell me your kid's birthday? And so that's like, that's worked a little bit better, I feel like. But yeah, I now that you say that, I am actually surprised we have that many birthdays in here, because I don't see a lot like day to day.
On these campaigns, can you send text messages to say people that don't have birthdays, and you can say, "Hey, add your birthday and get another coupon." Do you? Yeah, I guess. Do you entice people to add more information? I feel like I can't remember if that Starbucks did that, but I give Starbucks my birthday because I get a coupon every year. I don't use it every year, but
yeah, I don't know. This is one of those other things. When I talked to at our annual conference, I went and talked. I scheduled a meeting with this company, 5 Stars, and it's kind of too bad. I felt like I was asking for a lot of stuff that they were just like, yeah, nobody's really asking for that. So, because the hard thing for me was like, I wanted all of this ability. They give you one column or one ability to tag people. So
with multiple tags.
Yeah, I want multiple tags. I want multiple abilities to tag, slice, dice, whatever you want to call, right?
You're only allowed to add one tag?
Yeah, so like so you just could say tag.
VIP.
But like if I wanted to say, show me, so here's an example. I could do this. Show me all numbers that are 512. And I could consider that kind of like Austin. And I could say tag all. But I can't say, show me all not 512. That doesn't work. Right. So if you just wanted to kind of do some things like that, or show me some, like you can't search by history here. Or I don't think you can. Has no birthday, like you can't. Do that. I'm the king of code. I'm the king of search words, right? Like has attached.
Star is if not for. It's not going to work.
But I will say this, but you do give me some inspiration, because now that I've figured out how to download this data, that data is here in Power BI. I just have been so concerned with the macro number. I haven't started saying like I haven't even built out a show me my top 20 customers. Do I even have? But I know I've looked at it before. When I looked at our top 20 customers of 2022, like half didn't even have the name, and I thought, man, they're coming to our store and we're not even like. I know our regular employees will know them, but like if somebody comes up to me, I can't even be like, oh, hey, Veronica, like, oh, it's Veronica. Yeah. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, are you 51275, whatever? Like that feels like a missed opportunity, or, a net negative interaction. So yeah, I should be looking at some things like you're saying. But for now, I've been stuck in again, like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to get the team to break through kind of like the what is possible. I don't try to imagine that 100% is possible, right? Like our employees don't get points if they buy stuff, just from a sort of integrity thing. So yeah, some days there's, that happens. Some people don't want points. But I'm just trying to get them to, again, the big one that I've focused on in the last month is like, just because you think they might not speak your language, right? You should have like, I have a go-to script that's very simple of
You've
like,
said that a few times. That's the common excuse you've heard? Or
yeah, I mean, what you'll usually hear is like, well, some people just don't want to want points. And I say, okay, yeah, I spend time in the store, that's maybe one a day, maybe. That would mean our best case would be 97%. Okay, what's between 97 and 70? Right? And so then if you press a little bit, it's like, well, some people don't speak English. Okay, still ask them the same question, right? Like I was starting to say, I've got a simple like, do you want to put your number in? And that, for me, the conversion on that's like got to be 90 plus. But I think some folks are just scared, like if they think that they're not going to be able to communicate, they just don't want to ask. That's my qualitative hunch. You can see over here, I had another hunch we were trying to prove out. Do busier days just get busier and you're running from one transaction to the next and you just forget? But actually, there's almost a slightly positive correlation with that.
I don't know how to read that.
Oh, how many customers did you have on the x-axis?
Oh, transaction.
And right, net transactions, net transactions is what it could say. And then what was your percentage? So yeah, if you just took some people's qualitative, like, oh, things were really busy, Jim, sorry, you would have assumed this line would look, like a real negative slope, right?
Yeah.
Or probably with some discontinuous jumps of like, 2 to 3 people, 3 to 4 people, or something like that, right? But
and you said before you can't get over 100%. It's just
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A couple times, I know some people have come through. Yeah, see, there's one. I have a really gregarious guy, and I think yesterday he was trying to clean up because he thought somebody didn't do him in the morning. So I think some customers got double points, and I'm okay. I'd rather double count a couple people rather than miss them. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, there really should be sort of
great leadership. I'm serious. Yeah. It's like the parenting book, right? It's like
I know. It is, man. It's so yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I've told you that before. It's always stuck when Victoria says, why don't you, some of the great stuff you do at work, why don't you do it at home with the family? And I mean, that's a perfect example where I wasn't going to tell you, you should fix the 100. And you already thought through. It's like, yeah, it's not worth the effort to get that accurate, because actually you'd rather encourage a few double counts rather than missing the easy non-counts.
Yeah. And I love that employee, right, I just love that initiative, right? And I mean, I've gone so far. I mean, honestly, like I was telling you about the Thursday, and I worked a couple Thursdays, and it is weird because Thursdays generally have really good like number of people coverage. They're usually pretty, like, it's one of our higher number of worked hours. It's also an overlap with like pretty experienced people. So that's why I was going on that path earlier. I was telling you of like, is there just something structural here that we just don't understand? Again, types of employees, types of transactions. But I was telling a couple of them like, hey, if you want to, I was asking the question, should we change where we give points, right? So for buys, should we give points, like when we present the offer? Anyway, I'll just try to get to the point where I was like, a couple people might actually reject our offer and you've already given them points. But again, I'm okay to double count a few of them if that means that we get everybody else, right? And you could tell they're like, but those 2 people might get points. Yeah, but yeah. In your concern about 2 people, you're forgetting about the 10 that were missed.
Very good. So why are we doing this, Jim?
We're doing this so that I haven't gotten this part yet done. Sorry. We're doing this so that my 12-month trailing graph here continues to rise at a 15 to 30% per annum rate. So this tells you that after our first year, we were close to 5. Where were we? We were right at about 580K, right? But we are growing, right? If you take our last 12 months of data, we're on pace. We would have done 639K, 640K, right? But we want that to be at 700K by the end of this year. So that is our stretch goal, 700.
So with every customer that comes in and transacts with Southwest Austin Once Upon a Child is registered in 5-star and gets a point for each transaction
Yep.
is pivotal in getting you to that goal.
Correct. Yeah, that's my assumption. Again, for nothing else except that once we give them the first point, they now enter this funnel loop, right? This, whatever you want to call it, drip marketing to campaign marketing, right? Where it's like, here's another reason to come back. Here's another reason to come back. Here's another reason to come back, right? So, and you can see what I like here, and what I haven't really gotten into too much, slicing, dicing, or can we affect this number, right? You can see where, here's an example, right? Somebody that had not been in the past 60, 90, or 120, right, got this coupon and came back. Now, was that just their cycle? Would they have come back? Hard to know, right? But 176 customers that we know on average, we have average transaction value of $30 to $40, right? That's real money, right? Yeah, I need to see if we can do better.
With the visit rate?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I kind of lied. I have played around a little bit. So as an example, the default, the very first thing was, after your first visit, you get a $5 off purchase of 25. And then at some point I realized, oh, I can change these. So I changed it to 10, and we got a really good visit rate. And then I thought, oh, well, just keep going up. And I changed it to 15 off 30. And we're still sort of low data, but only 6%. So
10's the right number.
So yeah, is 10 the magic number? I don't know. You can see here, we used to have this thing called BOGO, buy one, get one 50 off. Like, it converts well, but we had a lot of conversion where customers thought if they bought one thing, they got the whole transaction.
That's what I would have thought too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're like, no, well, it's actually, if you buy one shirt, you get another shirt. And they're like, well, no, I bought one shirt and one pants. Can you just give me the pants 50 off? You're like, no, that's not. So we just, I just scrapped it and I just changed it to, $10 off a big item, basically. Or maybe it was this one, 10% off your purchase.
Very insightful. So this is already presenting in the break room?
No, I have yet to actually purchase an O365 account. So this is living purely on my desktop. Yeah, I know. This is the one I'd love to get there, but I feel like it's too. This is a question for you and me. This is a graph that I feel like I would have not had any hesitation to present to like one or two levels, if not the whole like CalGas team. Should I not say that? But I don't know why I feel differently in this retail setting. I've shown you this before, right? This like labor efficiency.
You haven't shown me this chart, but we've talked about it.
Oh, okay. So just real quick, the top graph is number of labor hours, trailing 7 days, right? So we think we're supposed to be scheduling approximately 200 hours per week. So it fluctuates up and down around 200. This is the trailing 7 days of sales and buy dollars. And so then this is just sales and buys divided by labor hours. So we shoot nominally for a target of around 100. But between me and Carly, this is where I look at it and go, we're heavy. We're heavy on employees basically for the last 4 weeks is what that says. And don't mind that 198. That's incomplete data, but
fine.
But yeah, it's I don't know. So again, I know that you don't have a lot of context here, but it's just I don't know if I'm worried because it's complex, if I don't think it would affect what the team did, if I might have a little bit more concern because it's not actually their efficiency. It's more like, or in some ways you could view it as their efficiency. Like I wish I could schedule 2 people and they'd work really hard, but I can't, you know? I don't know. I'm a little self-conscious, like, oh, we're scheduling too many people. It's on me and Carly. I don't know, but I wish I could show this. I wish I could have a conversation like you and I are having like this with the team about it.
Well, it's easy to have with me. You're not paying me to work there
Right.
6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you would argue that would they argue there's not much they can do to increase the blue line when they are there, right? You don't feel like there's opportunities that they're missing because they don't engage the customer? Like someone that just walks in, touches the stroll and just leaves?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to, I mean, it might change. Yeah. I mean, in your example, that might change a 71 to a 72 or 73, I think, right? Like
That's it?
Yeah, because I think your ability to upsell, I think it's tricky. Like it's difficult to upsell.
Is it?
Somebody that comes in for a stroller is going to buy a stroller. Somebody that comes in for a couple t-shirts probably won't buy a stroller.
Then why do you have those tchotchkes in the cash register or the counter?
Well, right. But that's what I'm saying, right? So that turns a $35 average transaction maybe into 40.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Okay, fair enough. So that's 10%. Okay. So maybe I was under calling it. Maybe that takes it from 70 to 75 or 80. But that's if every transaction goes up by 10%. But maybe you're right. Maybe I'm underselling myself on.
I'm not saying you're underselling yourself. I'm just wanted to understand if there are customers that might have bought something with the right engagement, or might have was thinking about buying more stuff but couldn't find it. Maybe those kind of things.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I think there's some of that. I guess I struggle where I think about like, sorry.
It's okay.
Family dynamic. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where I'm making my own sort of like roadblock here where it's like, I worry sometimes like by the time this data is recorded, the sales that day, the labor that day, it's going to be plus or minus whatever it's going to be. Does that mean like to your point, are they going to find what they needed? Well, if they're going to find what they needed, if we did a good job 3 months ago, convincing other shoppers to bring in more inventory, right? If 2 months ago, our team did a good job, like reallocating the sales floor, right? If 1 month ago, right, we made a good labor plan.
Okay.
So I guess that's where a little bit where I'm struggling is like it's the culmination of a lot of things. How do we?
Have you ever thought of one of you just when you go in, only spend time trying to upsell or make sure customers are happy instead of doing the operational stuff?
Good question. I don't think so. I don't know that I've never done that. I don't know if Carly.
It made me think when you said, "Oh, I don't even know user 561. Is her name Veronica?"
Right. I will say, I don't have it pulled. I'm gonna send out our weekly notes later, but a couple of those, like where I've talked about, like, oh, we're on track for sales goal, but we're trying to get to this, or we're behind sales goal, right? And sometimes I talk about like, make sure you greet all customers. This is a lack of, not even a great one, but like the closest I get to what maybe what you're asking is like, once or twice a shift when I'm there, I'll do a walk around and look for people that have like full arms and walk up and be like, oh, hey, would you like a shopping bag? Can I get you a shopping basket? Right. I mean, again, that's just retail 101, but that's probably the closest I get to it.
That's good.
Now, when you ask, they're usually like, yes, of course I need one now. I didn't think I need, and I assume, right, that's going to grow. That's going to increase the size of their shopping transaction. But I've really struggled. I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen another employee do that, or one of our employees do that. And I've mentioned it I mentioned it face to face. I mentioned it in like weekly updates, you know.
You didn't hear anyone randomly saying, "Oh, are you? Can I help you find something over there?" You never heard that?
Never, never.
That
If
seems
it
like
doesn't happen
retail
if it doesn't
101.
happen in line of sight from where our team basically spends 95% of their time, no, it doesn't.
Mm.
So
Those are one of the things when I'm at Home Depot. 50% of the time, someone sees, like, if someone sees me walk by them 3 times, that should be a sign that I'm lost, right?
right,
That I
yeah.
can't find that little washer. And like half the time, maybe someone says something, but the other half, they're just so busy on to the next thing.
Right.
Those are like missed opportunities.
Yeah, and I you know, you're always kind of wanting to make sure you're not, oh, can I help you today? No, no, no. I'm just looking, right? Again, it feels like similar to what I was telling you about this graph, like the 100% thing. Like, I feel like we've got some barriers. Like some people, I think, based on other things they've told me, I think they might say, "Oh, I just don't want to say too much. I just don't want to, you know, somebody might get mad." And it's like, yeah, one or two people might get mad, but you might, you know, you might enrich, or what's the word, bring joy or delight or whatever, right? To
Mhm.
more than two, right? 5, 10,
Mhm.
15, however many in a given day.
Mhm.
But
I
interesting.
love walking in and having someone say hi to me and say, "Oh," I imagine I walk in and go, someone says hi. He's like, "Oh, can I help you look for anything? Are you here to buy? Or it looks like you're here to buy or sell.
Yeah.
Do you need some help getting stuff out of the trunk?" Like,
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, you know, maybe just where people's, anyway, I I think I've noticed I spend more time there on the weekend, but I can say I think I've noticed a distinction that just, again, however we got there, certain members of the team on the weekends more so than the weekday um offer that, like, oh, we've never told our staff you always should, or you
mhm,
never
mhm.
should, or do it at your own, like we've never given them any guidance about help people from their car or out to their car. But I noticed that the weekend crew is much more you know, much more likely to volunteer and say, oh, let me help you take this stuff back, right? The stuff we didn't buy, you know.
Yeah. You know, that would be a great thing because that's one of the such a negative emotion when you
Right.
don't buy it, when you don't take it. It's like, "Ah," and that just offering to take it back is helpful
Yeah,
rather than saying, "Oh, would you like us to donate it on your behalf?" It's like you're adding to
I know.
the. Oh, you want us to give it to the homeless guy down the street? Just you can leave it here. Don't worry about it.
I know. Sometimes I wish, I don't know what that would look. I mean, again, another example of like people are scared of what it could be. People are scared, like, but if we start saying we'll accept them and we'll go donate it, like then everyone will bring their donations. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
Mhm.
would actually finally happen, you know, but I wish we could offer to donate their stuff. I mean, of
Oh
course
yeah,
with a
you don't
cost,
offer
of
that.
course with a price. Um, but we just haven't gotten there. But I like your point. Yeah, it's a nice thing to add, especially, you know, people that bring in a lot. Like it sort of works itself out. Like the people that bring in a lot, if they go home still with a lot, yeah, I hope it's some solace that they only have to take one trip out of the store and not keep
Yeah.
coming back in and feeling
Mhm.
more embarrassed. Like I'm still bringing stuff
Mhm.
out.
That's a great word. It's embarrassing. Yeah.
Well, just on that point, I'll tell you one of the other tricks that I don't know. I know I do. Again, there's only so much guidance we try to give out, but I really do my best. Like, assume somebody brings in more than a couple bins, boxes, whatever. Um, I really do my best to try to consolidate. So, right, let's say that you take half of each of 3 bins. I'm going to find a way to get all the rejects into one bin or one bag and like effectively break down the box or throw away the trash bag, or,
Mhm.
you know, double stack the totes so that there's at least that psychological feeling of like, okay, I came in with 3, at least I'm
Yeah.
only leaving with 1.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because
That's
you
great.
can see when you can't do that and people are like, I'm still leaving with 3 bins. and you're like, oh, but this one's empty, or oh, this one's almost like it just, you know, they've already assessed. I'm not going, you know, I'm going home with a lot. So
That's good.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's going to keep us growing at 30%, but it feels like a good step. Feels like the right thing to do.
Very good.
Yep.
I was going to say on that last point, you could, something I just read about, you could say, instead of saying, but we got rid of one box today, and you're only leaving with one box.
Yeah, as part of the, you mean as part of the offer?
Yeah. Instead of saying, but we got rid of 2 boxes, you say, and you're only leaving with 1 box.
Yeah. Oh, man. So much to do here. How do I go back? Oh, recording stopped.
No, I have 2 hours free.
Oh, the screen on my side says your device is out of storage and your recordings have stopped.
Oh, it might not. Oh, maybe it doesn't record your side anymore. It's supposed to record locally.
Oh, okay. So maybe.
So then I can, edit it.
Nice.
Well, maybe it's a sign.
Oh man. Did you just bounce something? That was weird.
I'm just trying to do that little effect that everyone's like, and that's why.
Yeah. And here we are.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm about to send these notes out. What am I at?
That's okay. You should get done. Should we close with about Ukraine and then call it a night? I'm just kidding.
Oh man, we had a good. I'm sorry. The last thing I'm doing is my. I'll do this. It's difficult to share screen actually. Here's my I would love to call it Friday 5. What is it? 5 Bullet Friday. But this is my Sunday night notes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just had to go download the 5 stars data. So what are we at?
What are you using? Copy.ai or
So 82,
Bard?
82
Bard?
here. So
ChatGPT?
we had a really good week. So nope. I mean, I've got access to Google AI, right? Help me write, but this is just our standard sort of progress to goals, reminders for the week, heads up. You know, throwing a shout out to the crew yesterday. They got 100%.
Nice. Good job.
And then one thing, we'll leave you for a teaser for next time since I got to go. But I gave a little shout out to a few people that gave me early feedback about our app. So I don't know if I've shown that to you and Justin, have I?
No.
So this is my app that I've built. Okay, come on, it's better than that. There we go.
Great start.
But it's, you know, I mean, it's just a simple, it just lives, it kind of lives in the browser. You can save it to your desktop as like a shortcut. It's not a true app, but you know, it's a basic like FAQ, but we call it the how do I do stuff at the counter, administrative on the sales floor, right? And so some of this will have like, you know, it's got bullet points, it's got a video that I've shot. We've got job duties for each of our titles. Here's where I keep a running list of like the notes that you just saw me writing, right? This is like the archive. So as new people come in, they can go back and see or whatever. This is where we keep track of like all the upcoming schedule of events because, you know, people are asking about that. And then, you know, just some cool stuff. Welcome to the
internal
team.
app.
Yeah, all internal. Yeah, basically
cool.
for the team.
Why are you laughing kind of a weird, sinister way there?
Oh, I don't know. Good point. Good question.
This is great.
Yeah. So I just launched that, whatever you want to call it, beta, alpha, probably beta, 5 days ago. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Made with Glide.
First day reminders. So yeah, it's pretty nice. All right, sorry. it's easy to build, and I definitely felt excited when one of the teenagers was like, "Did you build this?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just an app." As you know me, I'd say, and they're like, "But it's like an app." I was like, "It's not an app. You didn't go to the app store." Oh, that's true. I was like,
But
but
well, I
yes,
think that's a great topic for next time. I'll look up Glide app a little bit, see how many videos there are out there, and if there's
yeah,
not a lot,
it's
maybe-
it's a thing. Yeah, if we were ever redoing a couple of our previous jobs, yeah, that would be a great way to build a customer portal, way to build an employee internal thing. Sort of FAQ forums. So
very good.
yep.
I think you got some good foundations there.
Hope so. Hope that'll keep us on the track for, I gotta show my input, right? I mean, that's otherwise it just looks like we're growing and I didn't have to be fully invested, 100% in this in this business. How's the oh, we're still. So what is the difference between live and recording?
Live would
There would be just a
stream. It would stream.
Sure.
Yeah. So the first 2 or 3 I did with the StreamYard just went directly to YouTube, and then then I would have to edit it from YouTube. I couldn't edit very easily on YouTube, so now I wanted to try this. Record
Okay.
locally first, do some edits with StreamYard, download, then put it through. What did I write? My workflow somewhere.
Yeah.
Cut some of the long pauses we had, and then blur. I think I'm going to see if StreamYard does blurring. YouTube does blurring, but it wasn't easy. Or it wasn't quick. I don't know if it's my internet, but anyway, yeah, that's the workflow.
Okay.
And then ideally put that in the other one I showed you.
Where
video. Chops
it up, slices it up. Cool. Do you have a plugin for this, or maybe you don't care, but that's doing the? Is it you have to download this into your transcription program, or do you have something that'll just, transcribe as we're going and like summarize, or any sort of AI thing like that?
I forget if I don't think this does transcription. There's other ones that do, but this one doesn't. So if I put this through Descript, it will transcribe, or the other one, Video AI, transcribes the shorts.
I was trying to Carly's mom, my mother-in-law, was trying to. She basically took on, or I think got voluntold to be secretary for some firm in her local town, and was like, I don't want to do any of this stuff. And I'm like, there's AI for that. And then of course that was dumb, because then she's called me like 3 times. What's it called? Where do I download it? What do I do? And how does it work? And I'm like, I don't know your tech stack or what do you guys use, but there's something there. Go ask your IT guy. But I was gonna see. I downloaded one last night finally, just to see it, like, so I can tell her to try something. I downloaded Otter AI, and I was gonna try to have it attend our S2J meeting, but I couldn't, like, kind of like your CMO Tech thing. I couldn't get it. Since I logged in with Gmail, I couldn't get it to see the calendar invite for tonight. It just didn't see it, and I couldn't figure out how to sort of manually attach it. I mean, anyway, we ended up on StreamYard, but
I see that kind of.
Yeah. Like I had it, I mean, just for a trial, I had it record me and Carly like fake, just, having a fake business meeting for like 2 minutes last night. And it transcribed it. But when I tried to get it to do the cool AI stuff of like meeting minutes and, takeaways, it was, basically said that your meeting was too short. Yeah, there it is.
Cool.
But yeah, it looked pretty cool. Like, you just invite it to the meeting, it attends, it listens, it transcribes, it summarizes, and
very good. Yeah, I asked about the same thing with Google Meet. I said, can we just install that?
Yeah.
for our work? But they said no.
I like the one thing they said on there somewhere was like, and if you can't make a meeting, let Otter AI attend on your behalf and send you the summary. I was like, oh gosh, that'll be talk about an abused feature. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm good. I'll just let my AI attend the meeting. And then, yeah, is there going to be anybody in the meeting or just AIs?
Yeah, because I know you know. So I was talking with our product manager. Thought we could use Google Meet. Tell everyone has to transcribe every meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Click the transcription, then wait for the Google Doc, then put that in ChatGPT with this command line. Summarize this meeting in action.
Yeah.
But I think our CTO said don't do that yet.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, this app has already gotten to that point where it's like they're not just summarized. They're basically becoming like an add-on to Google Docs, or like you log into it, you see the meeting, and then you can start adding comments like Google Docs style and making action items and blah blah. I mean, yeah, that would be nice. I wondered if I should just like forward. I've got a meeting with a frozen yogurt guy on Tuesday. I wondered if I should like ask for permission or just like invite Otter AI and then beg for forgiveness later. But yeah, we'll see. It's not starting off good. I took the family to that frozen yogurt place last night that's for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't ask the kid because I'm pretty sure it was the owner's son, so I didn't want to like make a weird anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The air conditioner was clearly not working. It was 85 degrees in the frozen yogurt place. They had one desk fan blowing on the employees and then one like air mover on the floor blowing on our feet. And then Carly looked around and found the wall with like the sales permit and the food permit. The food permit expired in April.
Oh.
So
Why did you just say something right there?
I don't know. Because I was already kind of like, do I really want to, I kind of wanted to go down this path and see, but it's the P&L looks so terrible. I just don't know how I don't know how it'll work. Even like there's so many like asterisks right now to make it look some like barely attractive. Like I was telling Carly, even if we bought it for, it's on sale for 100K, even if we bought it for 20K or 30K, like it would still be losing money in the year, right? So it's not like, I don't know, it wouldn't change the break even.
Is this a place you guys eat a few times?
No, that was our first time last night, but it's relatively close. I mean, Carly, I think, is on board for another business, but it's got to be really close. So
cool. That's exciting. Staying busy. You just want to add another Power BI dashboard.
it is hard. Sheena, I mean, I think I told you guys like, and I told other people, I think maybe that was like trying to pump myself up, but I'd say like, oh, it's been growing great. And that's Carly working some hours a week and me working 5 hours a week. Like imagine if I do 4 and like, but right now we can't, there's not 40 hours to do. That's not just working in the store, right? I feel like I can't be CMO or COO for 40 hours a week. There's just not enough.
There's not enough.
Or like, there's just not,
who's the chief sales officer again?
I don't think we have that defined. I think it's just marketing. But like, I can only schedule, yeah. And literally I've got some social media campaigns scheduled like 3 months out, but like a little bit of that's like, okay, I only want to go so far out. Right.
See, yeah.
Or like I can only brainstorm so many different campaigns because eventually at some point it has to be executed. And like, we can't inundate our customer base with like 10 different ongoing promotions, or I can't have my team trying to remember, oh, what's the sale today? Or what's the, like, we just don't have a good enough, I feel limited sometimes by the POS that it can't just automatically do certain things, for any promotion, our team has to know it and apply it. So it's that's truly small business about it.
I have nothing useful to add.
Well, cool. Well, we've got some food for next week. Apps or
Is it next week? I thought it was every other week, but yeah, sure.
or whenever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know how we can talk about that. The frozen yogurt. I've got that call with the owner on Tuesday.
Okay. All right, and I'll work on. I should have more content this week. I'm trying to let Victoria. I'm asking Victoria if I can go to the Ayn Rand conference this week. I still didn't buy flights.
You
So,
didn't have to. I thought you just could go, but okay.
I don't know.
This might be on YouTube. Never mind. Don't say anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see whatever the funniest 10-second short video of this conversation was. I'll be excited to see that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll share the one where I didn't edit it and just see what's the what I thought it wasn't useful.
Oh. Just whenever we made faces or something. Yeah, I wonder how it picks. Especially if I was sharing screen a lot. Oh well. Cool. All right.
Good. Thanks.
All right. This was fun. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.